Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Back out here about the truck. Today I'm going to be installing some custom gauges for part 1 of a part 2 series of updating my truck's gauges. Let's get right into it. First thing I'm going to do is come in here, sit down, and see where I want these. I think I'm going to put it right there. Alright, I went ahead and took the gauges out of the little plate because it's super hard to get the mounting screws. It's like almost impossible to get back here, so I'm just gonna screw that up there and then put my gauges in after. So I'll be right back. Alright, I got that mounted on there with one screw and then a piece of baling wire because I don't have a drill, and I managed to get a screw in one hole back there. So I guess 1.5 out of 3. That's like a 35%. It might not get a degree, but it's good enough for this. Now, should you do this? Probably not, but I think these gauges are worth more than this truck, so I'm gonna do it. All right, here we are. We got 2 of the 3 gauges on. I'm holding off on the charge gauge for a little bit because I gotta go to town and get some wire for the what I'm assuming is the ignition and the ground. I'll figure that all out wiring out. I figure it's gonna be hard, but there's no holes here, surprisingly, like anywhere. So I'm gonna unbolt this and see if I can jimmy it sideways just enough to get a line through. Now that I think about it, I don't think that'll work, but I'll give it a shot. So wish me luck. Oh wait, I think there's one right there. I should probably try that instead. Upon further investigation, there's literally just this big little breakaway thing that I'll just close back up. So now we're getting into the actual part of it. I'm gonna have to look up how to do this because I don't know where the oil pressure thing is, and I don't know where the water temperature or coolant temperature is. So I'm gonna do some Googling and get back. All right, so I'm just gonna take this old fitting off the off the intake for the water temperature, and then I'll show you what I got to do for the oil pressure. I think this might leak a little bit. All right, so it's been a couple hours and we've escalated. It wouldn't fit down in the original one, so I'm gonna try and come off the thermostat housing. I just can't get that square bolt off, and I've tried almost everything. So I'm gonna resort to destroying it real quick, and maybe this will work. Probably not. I'll probably be stuck out here for another couple hours. All right, hey guys, a couple days later, got my new thermostat housing, which has just a normal hex key is what I call them, and this one's aluminum, so kind of an upgrade. I think it's a Dorman. Yeah, it's a Dorman brand. So I'm gonna go around the back in the shop and find a hex key that'll fit that, and then I'll get to taking the old one off and putting the new one on. All right, it was stuck, so I just had to put it in the vice grip. And what I did was I took that one because that's the only hex I had that would fit it, and I just took a screwdriver right here and I just applied some force to it. So, whoops, but that's out. Alright, so I'm having the same issue I was having with the other one, where it just doesn't want to seal. So I'm gonna have to do something about that. I think I'm gonna put this all the way up and then just put JB weld back here and then glue it up here so it just doesn't move. I'll have to look into that. I don't know how physics work, but I'm gonna give this a shot, and if that doesn't work, then I'll just I don't know. Let's hope this works. Alright, so I put some JB weld over the top of this, so while it gets dry, I'll take the old one off and then wait longer for it to dry because I imagine it'll take most of the day, but it's still kind of early, so maybe we can put this on this evening. I'm gonna take a guess and say that needs cleaned out anyways. That's gross, and I just put new coolant in it. I'm gonna have to flush this thing out again. It's because I had my heater running for a long time, and all that gunk's getting out of the lines. It's like, there's nothing in it. It's just like rust water. The stuff coming out of the pump is clean coolant with antifreeze in it. So I have to imagine that the water pump part's good. It's just the, you can see all that rust and stuff down there. I imagine that's a problem. So it is a good thing we're changing this. This was a brand new housing, or thermostat. This is a brand new thermostat, just a couple of months ago. It's got all sorts of grime on it. And let me get out of the way of the light, or out of the light. Look at that. That's gross. Take a look at this. It's really gross. And this gasket looks like a homemade gasket, so yeah, it's just gross. I'm sure it still work for years and years. It's just you really don't want this stuff in your motor. It makes your heating and cooling system less effective. Alright, so I took the screwdriver and a knife and I just got most of that gasket off I can. Go over it one more time when that gets ready to dry. But now we gotta move on to getting that little oil sender off because it's electronic, and then running the oil line for the oil pressure gauge. Alright, so it's about almost 4 o'clock, something like that. JB Weld has cured enough to put it on. It is not cured enough to run. So I'm just gonna make sure that the lines and everything line up. Stupid cars driving by, because apparently living on a 2-lane little country road turns into a highway. But that's my rant. So I was just seeing how that line would go. I got my gasket in here, and I guess I'm just gonna figure out how this goes. Oh, I have it backwards. All right, I'll get back with you. I put my thermostat housing all the way on. I forgot the thermostat. All right. I was going to say on the bright side the gasket stuck, but the gasket did not stick to it. Okay, well, back to putting it back on. Well, I dropped one of the thermostat housing bolts down there, and the only way I can get out is take this radiator off. So I'll take this off. I'm going to take those clamps off and flush it out with a hose, because I'm going to take it out back where my water hose is. The water temperature isn't going to work because the thermostat housing is in the way, or the thermostat's in the way, and it won't seat onto the housing properly. It has a big old gap, so I have to put it right here, which was the original plan. It's just, it didn't work out because of the issue that I fixed with this. So that should be pretty simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off and put that back on there, let it dry, and then sort that mess out, and then sort this mess out. I'm telling you, every time I try to make a video, it just goes absolutely terrible, which, you know, good content if you're sticking around here so far, but I don't know, guys. We got the forbidden chocolate milk going on. You see it's still dripping. That's still dirty water coming out there. Or dirty coolant. Ooh. Yeah, that's gross. I'm glad I'm cleaning this out. Ew, look at that. We're gonna hold it here until it starts to get clear. Ew, that's even worse. Alright, I think that's the best I'm gonna get it. I can live with it. Let's put it back on. So with water all over me, that's clean water. There's a whole bunch of dirty water around here though. But you can see it really stained the grass already. So that's not a good sign. that really didn't help much. I just picked it up to get it off the truck and it cleaned out a bunch of rust water. I imagine I'll have to come through here with some CLR. But this is an improvement, you know. I think it took some of that stuff off there. So we'll give it a shot. All right, I got it all hooked up. I guess I'm gonna put a little bit of water in here, a couple gallons. I have a antifreeze coolant mix I'm gonna put in after I make sure there's no leaks and stuff like that, and it's not supposed to get freezing or anywhere near freezing tonight. I don't want to make multiple trips, so I found this gas can sitting in the garage, completely empty, completely dry. I'm filling it up with water and to put it in the reservoir. Don't get this stuff mixed up. All right, so I got water in it now. I'm just gonna start it up and run it until it starts getting hot, and then I'll just shut it off and then drain this out. See how, yeah, I'll definitely need some CLR for this, but now I know that there's actually water in this thing. I might put some more in it actually, because it's taking it into the actual housing and everything. I'm just using the water to check for leaks, guys. I went to go turn my switch on, and I accidentally left my alternator switch on all night, and it killed my battery all the way, so I'm gonna have to get a jump. All right, let's see. You got anything? Nope, nothing. All right, let's see if we got any water leaks anywhere. Oh, yep, we do. I can see it right now. It's coming out of where I JB welded at. You guys can't see it, but I can. So we got a leak out of there. Let's see if we got a leak in our water pump anywhere. Thermostat. Don't see anything there. I'm just gonna run it enough to see if that gauge goes up any, and then I'll simply just go ahead and turn it off and then put more JB Weld on it for the night. So you can see it moved off the bottom. My thermostat says you can run, it's like opens at 190 something. So I'm gonna let it get up to temperature just to make sure it goes up all the way. So I can see it moving up clearly. I'm gonna shut it off before it gets too hot so I can put JB Weld on it for the night. Oh, it's that sensor, okay. I was like, oh, balls, okay. But we got 2 out of 3 gauges working. I'm gonna get a different line for the oil pressure, because that cheap nylon plastic line, if that blows out, I'm screwed, you know what I mean? And it looks like, oh wait, that was my hand, never mind. I was like, it looks like we have stuff in there. That was just a little print. But that's gonna do it for this video. A long one, and the second part of this is gonna be a long one. So thank you guys if you're sticking around. Peace.